Hello, fellow crafters. Welcome back to my channel. So, as you can see, this one is called Masterpiece from Mistake. This was not my original intention of what type of card I'm going to make. So, I was going to make a Slimeline. This is a 3.5 by 8.5 card. And I'm going to blend the outside with Distress Oxide Broken Glass. Now, when I'm blending, I'm going to make sure it's darker at the edge, and then I'm going to bring that color in lightly to kind of create like a halo effect. I am going to speed up the blending because there's a multiple speed up videos here, but just to kind of save your time so that we can just get to the point and see how beautiful the card turns out at the end. So I'm just going to do some ink blending around and try to give it a snow-like kind of effect, like a sky. Now all of this part was my intention. Even this up into, technically, I was originally supposed to stamp some images and then mask it, then blend. And then I realized, when I got done blending, I realized that I messed up. And I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? And at first I was gonna just throw it all out. I was like, you know what? No, I'm gonna make this work. We're gonna figure this out. And not necessarily throw it out, like save some pieces. You know, I would save it for maybe a project later on. But I decided to make it work. So I put it in my Misty just to kind of keep it still, and then I spritzed a little bit of water. Now I tried to spray water on a tissue and then dab it, so that kind of gives it more of like a chunky little like snowflake kind of a feel. And I do like the effects of it, and I like the fact that it had that little watermark. So I then decided to start putting snowflakes on the background to kind of make it work. Now this is one of the limited edition collaborations. This one's with Waffle Flower and Simon Says Art. This is, like I said, limited edition. You will not be able to get it. Stamptember is over, but those who have it, or if you have any other snowflake stamps, you can use that. You don't necessarily need this one. I just wanted to use it because I love the way these snowflakes look. They're adorable, and I love that big snowflake. It kind of helps to do the fill in the background. So we're just going to ink this with some Versamark ink. This is a watermark, watermarker, I believe it's called, or waterprint, something like that. But it's a sticky ink that helps to stick any kind of like embossing powder or certain like mica powder, things that you would like to adhere to it. It makes it sticky. So I stamp this in multiple areas, and I try to stamp off the card so that it gives it like a continuation, like I cut it out from a pattern paper. And then I'm going to put some clear embossing powder. Now the clear embossing powder is from Ranger, and I have it inside this little container. I apologize, I didn't use clear embossing powder. I used the Brutus Monroe Fairy Dust. I forgot. I was going to use clear embossing, and then I changed it to the Brutus Monroe Fairy Dust, which is like a clear but glittery embossing powder. And I just sprinkle that on there, tap off the excess into a scrap paper, and then I'm going to funnel it back inside of the jar. Now I'm going to use a heat gun so that we can melt the embossing powder. The embossing powder is something that kind of gives it a nice shine, a glow, but this is going to give it a glitter, which I like because it kind of helps give that sparkle snow kind of a look. So I'm going to heat my embossing powder on the side, get it nice and warmed up before I bring it to my paper, and that's going to help to prevent any warping to your paper. You don't want to leave this in your Misty and heat emboss it, because that is how you mess up your mouse pad. I have done it before, and I could not figure out why it was warping the way it did, and then I figured it out one day while I was heat embossing. So I did close my Misty, and I am heat embossing the powder, getting it nice and melted, and you can start to see the image pop up slowly. Now this stamp set came with multiple little stamp sizes. So some of it is medium, we got some smalls, and I didn't want it to overpower with snowflakes, but I did want to kind of fill in the areas. So I'm gonna clean my stamp with the Gina K Tidy Towel. I love this towel for multiple reasons. For one, it works really well and cleans up my stamps and allows me to keep reusing it without it dirtying my towels. And oh my God, that drove me nuts. So I'm just taking an acrylic block. I selected a few snowflakes that I wanted to use, and I'm going to continue stamping it with the Versamark ink as I kind of find little areas. I'm just trying to fill in the background, and then I use a medium-sized a medium-sized snowflake. Sorry, guys. And then I'll go to the small snowflake, and I'm not gonna heat emboss after each one because the Versamark ink does stay sticky. It does stay sticky for a while, so that's gonna allow me to have a little bit of time to stamp the smaller snowflakes and then heat emboss the entire background. So that's what we're gonna do. Now, I still love how this card came out, and I'm going to give you a full warning now that there is a few clips that are missing. I'm not sure what happened, but I will always give you detail as to what I have done so that you are not missing out on anything. So I pull back my sticky mat. Oh, this is the sticky mat, by the way, is from My Sweet Petunia, the same company that makes the Misty tool. It is honestly a lifesaver. It helps to keep your image in the same exact area, and as long as you always push it to the corner, you'll know that you're stamping the same area over and over and over again. And I love that it has the sticky mat it does not dry out. So I keep it in my Misty, and when I need to use it, I use it. And then if it gets dirty, rather from ink, I could use a wipe. Or if it's like a medium or some sort, which I normally try not to use, I'll bring it to the sink and I'll clean it off with some soap and water, and then I let it air dry, and it's still sticky. So honestly, I recommend that sticky mat. I love my magnet, don't get me wrong, but the sticky mat makes us know it is in the same spot for sure. So I'm just gonna clean up my mat. This is the Tonic Glass Mat from Tim Holtz, and then I'm gonna heat emboss the rest of the image. And you don't want to overheat it, so you want to make sure that you're always moving the gun around and you're watching it melt. And once it melts, move away. Like, you move it and continue going down and away from it. Do not keep it there for too long because you can burn the embossing powder, and we don't want that. And you'll know it's burnt because when it is not, when you heat emboss it correctly, it's give it a nice glow and it's a smooth melt over. But when you overheat it, it will look kind of have a slight burnt look. So I gave you a little preview of the card, and now we're gonna go to the die cuts. Guys, this was a lot of die cutting. So I pre-die cut everything off camera. And then I'm just using R29, R27, and R89 just to add little accents to the car. So I'm just gonna color the side panel of the door, and it just provides it with a little bit of texture and a more pop out look, in my opinion. And it does have some dimension in it where, not dimensions, I apologize, it does have some indents to kind of help give you the car more feature. But I definitely did not want my card to just be a plain cardstock. I wanted to kind of have some type of variation. So I did color a little section of it in, and then we're going to use the trimming for the, I think it's like the truck tire trimming area. I did color that in as well, and then we're going to piece that right where it's supposed to be in the wheel area. And I did use my waffle flower grip mat. I am going to give you a full warning. Do not, do not, do not use your alcohol markers on your waffle flower. I did that mistake, and for me, it's just this staining. I didn't want to stain it. It's so beautiful, you know, and I did not want to stain it. But I tried to clean it with alcohol, and it lightened it, but it did not take it away. So don't use your alcohol markers on your waffle flower grip mats. Do that on your glass mat instead, or whatever craft mat that you may have. So we're going to continue piecing this all together and giving the truck a little bit of dimension with the different color cardstocks from the ones I colored. With the Christmas trees, I want it to look a little bit more alive. Again, I didn't want it to just look like plain cardstock. So I decided to add some Copic marker coloring, and it's not really coloring, it's just I did some flickering to make it look like, you know, the pine trees, you know, the way a Christmas tree looks, so it doesn't look like, you know, a Dr. Seuss book, which I love Dr. Seuss. I still read Dr. Seuss, but I wanted to not look like it was colored in. I wanted it to have some type of dimension. So I did do the flicking motion with the Copic marker. I will place in the description what color I used, because I don't think I actually put it on there. And then we're just going to start assembling the truck. Now I wanted to put the two in the back. By the way, this die piece is called Santa's Activities, and it's from Sizzix. I got it recently, and normally I do not do die piecing. Like, it is a lot of patience to do die piecing. But after the first card I made with the globe, with the Concord and ninth, honestly, it was fun. It's definitely something I say, like, even if you think you don't like it, just try it. And you don't have to use every die piece inside the package. You can select the one that you want to use, and you will see that here. I did not use all my die pieces. I selected certain pieces that I wanted to use, and I incorporated my own little scene, somewhat, of a card. So we're just going to put the Christmas tree in the back to kind of make it look like, you know, it's one's stuffed in there standing up and the other one's kind of like leaning away. And then we're going to put the Santa Claus together. Now, this is one of the clips that I am missing. Somehow, I completely lost how to put my Santa together. But do you see how beautiful and cute those little Santas are? They are so cute. Oh my gosh. I loved how they turned out. It took a lot of looking at the die packaging to kind of put it together, but once it came together, oh my God, I was like, this is too cute. Like, I wanted to make it into like an ornament. Like, that's that cute. And you know, that might be an idea. I might make these into ornaments, but look at how cute that little Santa is. Oh my goodness. And I did add little white dots to the belt of Santa's belt to kind of give it a little dimension, not dimension, sorry, texture. And now I'm going to adhere the truck to the bottom portion of the card. We are going to cut this card. I just needed to know how low I wanted, or how far apart I wanted both Santas to be before I cut it. So I used the dimension that we used for our card panel was a full slimline, and then I'm going to cut it down to a mini size. And honestly, whatever size, it does not have to be a specific size. Whatever size you decide you want for your card, do that, because it's your card and you can customize it the way you want. It's why it's handmade, right? So I put the wheels on, and I did add a little bit of some glitter, my shimmer pens, and add some glitter to that, the wheels, because I wanted it to have a little shine to it. And honestly, I wanted to look as close to my truck, but my truck's white, and I didn't want to do a white truck. But I do love my shimmer on my wheels. So now that we have it here, I took the die cut of the presents, and I ended up coloring it. I took a pink blending brush that I had, and I just blended, see if it had any ink on there, and if it did, I just blended it on there and gave my present a little look, which you're going to see right here. I'm going to just literally pick up a brush and I'm just going to blend. I did not re-ink it. I did not do anything. I just looked for a brush that had ink in it or that still had some ink on it, and then I blended right onto into the gift box. Now the gift box also came with I believe it's two stripes and a bow. And so I took the stripes, I colored it red, and then I placed it onto the gift box, and then I added the bow. Now the dyes that I used to, I'm not dyes, I'm sorry, the Copic that I used to color, I believe is of course, the bow, I believe was R29. And then the top bow, which you'll see soon, I used R89 because I wanted to have that two-tone look for the bows, kind of indicating like the inside loop somewhat. So I'm just going to continue to color in those die pieces, adhere it, and then find a place that I think works. Now I want to put this right behind the tree, so to kind of indicating that, you know, Santa's dropping off, picking up trees and dropping off presents. You know, like what is Santa doing with trees if he doesn't have presents? And he doesn't have his reindeer. He needs to at least have a present. So that is what I went with. I decided I wanted to add a present in that truck. So I slowly kind of maneuvered and kind of wiggled it in, you know. And it was kind of funny because like, come on, just fit, 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 fit. And, you know, slowly lifting up that adhesive from the bottom of the trees. And then I'm going to take that bow and I'm just going to place it right on top, kind of make it look like a big gift from Santa. The bow comes in two pieces. The smaller piece goes on top. I think that's the part I constantly get mixed up. I never know exactly where it goes sometimes, and it always throws me off. So like I said, I went ahead and I colored it on, and just to kind of give it that look of the inside of a bow and the outside of a bow, and then I adhere it together. Now, this card, honestly, I took almost 2 hours to make this card, but it was a lot of die cutting, and honestly, I was trying to figure out the colors as I go, and so it was time consuming. And my daughter also wanted to help me, so she was with me as well while I was making this card. And she would take the die cut to my Gemini. I was using the Big Shot, and that was how we were getting these die cuts done. And she even was kind enough to take it out. Like, I tried to include her in my video, well, not my videos, but in my crafting as much as possible. I will have something with her, like a mommy and me craft night, but we'll talk about that later. So now I'm just gonna take a jelly roll white pen, and I'm just gonna add some highlights. I'm gonna add some to the tires. I'm gonna add some to the front of the truck, some to the gift, Santa's hats, you know, to kind of give it that wow look, kind of help it to pop out a little bit more and not look so plain. And you don't have to. I recently just got into adding highlights into images and die cuts, and honestly, I love it. Like, you guys have to give it a try. Like, I never know the exact places that I should put it, but you kind of got to go with what you think is best. If you want to use the method of the lighting and where your shadow and your sun is, you can. I'm still learning that, but where I place the highlights, honestly, it looks amazing. It looks good. I don't see a problem with it. And I also add like little speckles on the bow to kind of give it, another pop out look, a little design. So once that is all dry, I am going to take a Ho 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 die from Concord and Ninth. That is another missing part. My die cutting, I don't know what happened to my die cam. It just disappeared. I don't know. I don't know what happened that day. But I did cut from a Concord and Ninth die the Ho 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 sentiment from there. Now to add just a little zing, um, I want to use my confetti or my sequences that I have and put it on the tree as though it's like ornaments. And I figured, heck, using the sequences from this calls for confetti, it called for confetti, guys. And it gave it a nice little shine that I really enjoyed. It gave like ornaments do, right? When you put ornaments in a tree, it gives it a nice shine look to it. So I just put some, believe it was and baby blue, gold, and I want to say I want to say silver. I don't remember. But it is going to be in this description. So we went ahead, we're going to put that on there, and then I'm going to actually use the Trinity stamp for, Trinity stamp sequence, the star from Trinity stamp sequence, and I'm going to place that on top of the tree to kind of give it like the star on top of the tree, because it looks like the star you would put on top of the tree. I love it. And honestly, I really love those stars. When it comes, I think you're going to see a lot of the Trinity Stamp sequence stars. You're definitely going to see a lot of them on my Christmas cards. I love the way those stars look. It really kind of puts that silent night, holy night kind of feeling to it. So you'll be seeing a lot more of those. So now we are going to make the card base. And this one's at 8.5 by 7 cardstock. And then we're going to score it at, I believe it's 3.5. Now, I was not too sure on if I was going to at first use a full slimline and then just place it in the middle. I wasn't sure yet. This is the Score Buddy 8th. I love this Score Buddy. Honestly, it's so handy, especially when I have to take it out with me, and everything is so compact. And it goes in eighths. Like, you can get the exact scoring that you want to use. So I scored at 3.5, and I made sure I scored both sides, and then I fold it. Now, you will see that I kind of wasn't sure if I should fold it backwards or fold it inwards. Honestly, fold it what's comfortable so that it is equal and even. And take a bone folder and make sure you enforce that score line so that it is perfectly creased. Now, I have a thing, like I've said in my other videos, I'm a messy crafter, guys. I had so many things around me. It was ridiculous. And I had to use a trimmer, and which means I needed more space. So I lined up the card to the base, and then I took a pen or a pencil. Honestly, I would say use a pencil because a pencil you can actually erase. I could not find my pencil, which is why you saw my fingers wiggling, because I'm like, where in the world is it? So I just used a pen. And with the pen, I kind of lined where it ended on the card base. And then I took my Tim Holtz trimmer and I trimmed it at the line, which I was lucky because it did not even have, like when I cut it, you didn't see it. And honestly, you're gonna cover the panel fully unless you're gonna have it matted. So if you made sure you measure it correctly, it should go right on top and it'll hide if you do have a line on there. So I'm gonna adhere it with some Barely Art precision glue. I love this glue, guys. You will see me use it a lot. A lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. It is my favorite freaking glue. I love that glue. And I love the fine pin. But I added the sentiment and I added a Simon Says sentiment as well. And look at this card, guys. Like, it wasn't my intent, and I think my next Friday video is actually going to be the video that I was, or the card that I was trying to make. But this card came out great. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I apologize for the missing videos. Please like and subscribe to my channel. This will help support, and I can't wait to see you guys soon for another card tutorial. You matter, you are beautiful, and you are the art of this world. Have a great day. Bye-bye.